Mexico is not just a land of tacos and tequila. It's a beautiful land of deeply rich culture and a dramatic political history. Recently, it's become the subject of yet another head-scratching executive order by US President Donald J. Trump. President Donald Trump is renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Yes, really. That bizarre attempt at a rebranding sparked global side eyes, but also reignited curiosity. How did Mexico, a country with such a rich and rebellious past, end up in the crosshairs of map-based trolling? To understand that, we've got to go way back past the border walls, back past the revolutions, all the way to pyramids and obsidian knives, and click like and follow while you're watching. Long before Spain showed up with steel, ships, and contagious diseases, the Aztecs ruled central Mexico. These weren't just ancient folks in feathers, they built floating cities, organized empires, and performed blood-soaked rituals with terrifying efficiency. In the year 1521, the Spanish conquered the Aztecs, dismantled their empire, and declared the land New Spain. But here's the kicker. New Spain wasn't limited to modern Mexico. It stretched deep into the American West, including what's now California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and even parts of Colorado and Wyoming. So if you're sipping margaritas in Santa Fe, you're technically lounging in what used to be Mexico. In 1821, Mexico finally declared independence from Spain, but it wasn't exactly smooth sailing from there. The new country was immediately plunged into political chaos. Emperors came and went, republics formed and collapsed. Then came Antonio López de Santa Anna, a charismatic leader who somehow managed to become president 11 times. He was like a political boomerang. Mexico tried everything: monarchies, dictatorships, republics, like a country trying on every form of government to see which one didn't itch. The chaos gave rise to one of Mexico's most infamous political failures, losing Texas. In 1836, American settlers living in the Mexican territory of Texas declared independence. Mexico, understandably, was not thrilled. The US, riding high on manifest destiny, supported Texas and quickly got involved. After a brief stint as an independent republic, Texas was annexed by the US, triggering the Mexican-American War. By 1848, with Mexico militarily outmatched, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed. In exchange for a suspiciously low amount of cash, Mexico gave up nearly half its territory. The US got the American Southwest. Mexico got humiliated. Imagine losing your whole house and being left with just a broom closet and a polite thank you note. Still reeling from territorial losses, Mexico spent the next century in political reconstruction. In the 1860s, Napoleon III of France tried to install an emperor, Maximilian I, but Mexicans weren't having it. They fought back, executed the emperor, and celebrated with what's now known as Cinco de Mayo. No, it's not Mexican Independence Day, that's in September. In 1910, the Mexican Revolution erupted. It was one of the most transformative civil wars in Latin America, shaking up land ownership, labor rights, and centralized power. Eventually, a new government emerged, one that would be dominated by the Institutional Revolutionary Party, PRI, which somehow held uninterrupted power for 71 years. That's longer than Fidel Castro. As the 20th century progressed, a new player entered the political scene: drug cartels. Groups like the Sinaloa and Los Zetas cartels didn't just sell narcotics, they corrupted politicians, funded entire campaigns, and, in some cases, effectively governed entire towns. Political candidates were threatened, bribed, or worse. Cartel influence turned some regions into lawless zones where the line between government and gang blurred like a watercolor painting. Today, Mexico is a modern federal republic, still battling corruption, inequality, and cartel violence. Yet it has managed to sustain democratic elections and even unseat the long-dominant PRI in favor of new populist and reformist parties. Through all of this, the invasions, the revolutions, the narco wars, Mexico's geography has remained steadfast. Which is why, when someone proposes renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, most people respond with a mix of confusion and mild diplomatic rage. You can't just rename international waters like you're changing your Wi-Fi password. The name Gulf of Mexico has been in use since the 1500s and is embedded in centuries of treaties, nautical charts, and international agreements. Attempting to rebrand it without Mexico's approval isn't just absurd. It would likely violate international law and draw the ire of global institutions like the United Nations. So, the next time someone claims the US should rename the Gulf of Mexico, just remember, Mexico has survived Aztec sacrifices, Spanish colonization, French emperors, 11 Santa Anas, a humiliating land grab, a bloody revolution, a 71-year political monopoly, and decades of narco-terrorism. And it still exists, proudly, defiantly, with a Gulf named after it. To try and change that is more than historically inaccurate. It's delusional. U.S. executive orders do not replace international law or Mexico's standing on the map.